Now, more of the Rundown. Check out Rob's blog at foxsportsradio1400.com.
Welcome back to the Rundown. I am Rob Sanders. It's great to have you with us this afternoon. I want to welcome into the studio, he's like my fight correspondent, Matt Branscum from tomorrowsfights.com. Matt, thanks so much for coming in today, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Why don't you step over here to this microphone, buddy? That one there is acting kind of silly. You know what I'm saying? So Matt's changing out mics for me over here, but Matt's from tomorrowsfights.com, and he is a guy that knows a lot about UFC. He's also a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, over 20 years of wrestling experience. So, you know, I'm a big guy, but I wouldn't screw with old Matty B over here, man. I've watched, he showed me some of his, he posted some of his stuff online of him just chunking guys around. But we didn't bring him in here to try to fight with me today. We did bring him in today to talk about UFC 224, and it's great to have you with us. The Raquel Pennington and Amanda Nunes fight over the weekend kind of got some people's eyes because, just from my perspective, Pennington said, I quote, "I want to be done. I am done," in the fourth round. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Yeah, I mean, it's happened a couple of times. The one that sticks out in my mind is Nate Marquardt versus I'm drawing a blank right now. He went to his corner, said, "I'm finished." His trainer, Trevor Whitman, said, you know, the fight's over, and basically it ended right there. First off, thanks for having me on. Thanks for the nice introduction.
That's awesome,
It got
brother.
me blushing over here. You know, as far as this fight go, you know, when I was watching it, when I heard her say it, because they were live in that corner whenever it happened, she said, "I'm done. I just want this to be over." I thought she said, "I just want this to be over." I read a quote later on where it said, I want this to be over.
Right.
But it looked to me as more of her almost in a complaining mode is what I took it as when I first heard it. Now,
So you think the context may have been a little bit taken off?
Right. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not going to lie to you. She was in a bad position. She was down probably 4 straight rounds. I haven't seen the cards, but you know, she was beat up. Her nose was already broken. She had a large hematoma on her leg from repeated leg kicks throughout the fight. I don't think there was much chance of her coming back in that one, but her whole brand, and I don't even want to call it a brand, her personality, who she is built around how tough she is. And I think maybe her corner wanted to give her a chance to go out on her shield.
Okay, and that's a very valid thing to think about. But if you were in her corner and you were her corner guy, would you have let her go back out if you had heard something from her saying, "You know what, I'm done"?
I think in the situation that these guys were in, and mind you, I don't train with her day in and day out, but I think what they heard was they heard her say one thing. She said at one time, got it off her chest, and it looked to me like they kind of got her ready to go back out for the next one. I think in that situation, you want to give your fighter, especially in the 60 seconds that you have in that corner, you want to give your fighter a chance to, you know, kind of get some stuff off their chest and then maybe get themselves back together. And if they really wanted to go out, they can go out. Because she could have protested more. You know, she could have said, you know, I'm not going back out. I'm just done. And you know, I look at, you know, what her fiance, who is a top 5 bantamweight and, you know, 115 pounder in the UFC, said that she completely agreed with the decision for the corner to send her back out there. Misha Tate said the exact same thing. So I kind of feel like they know her better than I do. And she might feel better today because she did go back out.
You can actually watch the last portion of the fight and the comments from her on my blog page. It's at foxsportsradio1400.com. I've got both pieces up there, and you can make a decision on your own. I bring Matt in because Matt knows this stuff, man. He does a podcast. It's called On tomorrowsfights.com. You can subscribe on iTunes and basically get a breakdown of everything UFC and MMA stuff there. So when I found out I saw this on Sunday, and as soon as I seen it, it just kind of made me cringe just a little bit. Now, and I've watched tons of MMA fights, and I've seen fights where guys have, you know, kicked somebody and broke their leg, and I'm like, well, they were fighting. But then I see young ladies fighting, and I know that this sounds completely sexist of me, but I'm like, wow, it just kind of hit me in the face a little bit. So my next question to you is that do you think because she's a woman that it may have made people a little more stirred up?
That might be the case. I don't think so. In my case, I know how tough these ladies are. She is a fighter through and through. She is tough not for a woman. She is tough, period, for a human being. And I don't think that she should be judged on any different scale than you would a man that was out there fighting. I don't think she's a breed bigger than me and you.
I'm not saying that I would best with her. I'm
This
just saying
is a young woman who broke her back in high school and went on to become a professional athlete afterwards. Wow. She is tough all the way through.
It was really hard for me, and I've got the daughters at home, so maybe that's kind of what I was looking at. Mm-hmm. And her nose literally looked like a question mark. I mean, it was that messed up. And then when at the end of the fight where she's just getting pounded and it's like you just see her face just pouring blood, and it's like, I don't know if I want to see that or not. Maybe I'm a puss. I'm okay with that. But on the other end, I think that may have stirred some folks up just a little bit.
If you want to feel a little bit better about it, I can't remember if it was her second or third fight ago, though, but she, in the first round against, I believe it was Andrade, she got her forehead busted completely open. I mean, gushing gallons of blood, buckets of blood all over right at the end of the first period. She catches the girl in a bulldog choke and finishes the fight with her face looking like she just got dragged through barbed wire. I mean, she's just tough up and down.
All right, so Matt Branscum from tomorrowsfights.com. I got about 2 minutes left, Matt, and tell us about some of the upcoming MMA fights if you're wanting to watch some of this stuff and kind of get into it. What can we look forward to here in the coming weeks?
Well, this weekend we've got Maya versus Usman. It's a UFC on Fight Pass. It's out of Chile. I wouldn't say it's one of the better cards. If you haven't watched UFC, I wouldn't say this is one for you. But coming up in 2 weeks on May 27th, that's a rare Sunday fight on FS1. Local boy from Spartanburg, Josh Thompson, will be fighting Darren Till in the main event. Josh Thompson has been right on the cusp of being a world champion for a long time now. He's got a cool karate knockout style. Darren Till is also a young fighter coming up who is known for putting people on their butts and putting their lights out. That is a great fight for y'all to watch. And then the next big pay-per-view event is going to be June 9th, UFC 225. In the main event, we got Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero 2, and also fighting on that card will be your boy.
CM Punk.
CM Punk will be on there, yeah.
I don't have any faith in him at all. But real quick before we get you out of here, though, tell us a little bit about your podcast. Is at tomorrowsfights.com. What can people expect if they go and download?
All right. Right now, Tomorrow's Fights, how we're formatting it, we're just doing it for UFC pay-per-view events. So the next one we will be doing will be probably up June 7th, since the fights will be on June 9th. We basically go over the prelims and then every fight on the main card. Give our takes from different, all of us coming from different martial arts backgrounds and what we think is going to happen, and we make some picks and just discuss.
All right, so if people can go online to tomorrowsfights.com, and it's kind of cool because you can go there and actually catch the YouTube feed, or if you're like me, I mean, I got like a 30-minute car ride in every day, so I can go and download it and listen to it right there on my iPhone. Simple, great stuff, and you can educate yourself on the fighting world. Matt, thanks so much for coming in today, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rob. Appreciate it, buddy.
We'll be right back in just a moment on The Rundown.